So honestly, I did not want to backtest right now, but I think it's more important to backtest. So I'm just doing a chill stream instead of a normal stream where I'm at my computer. I mean, obviously, I'm at my computer either way because I'm on my laptop, but I'm just chilling here, sitting on my bed with my laptop instead of at my whole entire setup. And I'm still going to be backtesting here. So, yeah, we're going to review the market and review what we have going on or what happened today. So, let's pull up TradingView here. And I am kind of listening to music, so I don't know. This might be just more of a chill stream. But still want to get backtesting in. I think it's important. So, okay. What should we start with? Well, why was today so bearish? I think that's the first question to ask. Yeah, I think that's the first question to ask is why was today so bearish? So, I mean, obviously we had the SMT with previous day's high, which now that I'm thinking about it, that was not really actually SMT with previous day's high. This was previous day's high. This is something else. So now that I'm thinking about it, it's not really SMT with previous day's high. Yeah, it honestly wasn't. I don't know how long the stream is going to be, but I just want to at least get some backtesting in, you know? At least some. So, some is better than nothing. Yeah, so we really did end up using this 4 hour gap. Guys, why do you think this 4 hour inversion for value gap failed? Because this is not an inversion for value gap. This is not an inversion for value gap. Why is this not an inversion for value gap? Because this isn't a fair value gap, right? ICT says when you mark out a fair value gap, you need to include the volume imbalance. So we really need to close above the volume imbalance for this to actually be a valid inversion for value gap. Do we close above the volume imbalance? No. So this is not even an inversion for value gap. It's not even valid. Kind of interesting, right? You see that? We don't close above the volume imbalance. So it's not even a real inversion for value gap because this you have to include volume imbalances in the fair value gap. Do you see kind of what I'm saying? See what I'm saying, right? You might think this is an inversion for value gap, but the fair value gap actually looks like that. Okay. So let's drop down to a lower time frame. It was a 1 hour gap. Here's midnight open. Look at how we soup it when we come back up. It's kind of cool. $7.30. Right here. So you can see how we manipulate 730. Once again, guys, if I'm not talking a lot, it's just because I'm listening to music, and I don't know, I don't feel like making this like a super interesting stream. I'm just more or less just wanting to get the backtesting in. So hopefully that makes sense. We definitely have SMT there with YM and with ES. Wait, psych, not with ES. And I do want to get better with SB Pro, so I'm going to open that up. Still loading. These types of streams are actually super chill though, because like I feel like I don't have to talk a lot. I don't have to impress anyone. I'm just here, raw backtesting, just sitting in front of the charts. And honestly, I like these streams the most. So if y'all don't like it, that's fine. But this isn't going to be more of an interesting stream. This is just going to be me just pure raw backtesting. So. We rejected an event horizon here. Dang. Okay, watch this. What I'm curious about is we have this key level, the midpoint. Why is this a really good event horizon? Because the New Day opening gaps are so far apart that I know that this one's going to be likely to hold. And it even holds to the upside here. So the event horizons, meaning the midpoint between two opening gaps, the event horizons that work the best are going to be when there's New Day opening gaps that are pretty far apart from each other. That's from what I've seen. That's when an event horizon is going to work the best. And the way I like to trade these is I like to look for a pin bar off of them. And you can see that happened right there. Okay, let me make note of this. See this? So now we have that. We very clearly get a pin bar off of this. So I'm curious if this was a precision swing point. Okay, YM was not correlated at all. It's not, but it's still a pin bar. Look at that absorption there. What day was this? March. Oh, we're 2 days, like, this is 2 days ago. We got to go forward in time. That was yesterday. This was today. I feel like I need to change this. Whoops. How do I change the time zone? I'll fix it later. Look, oh man, look at the absorption here. Man, so this was during my trade. And honestly, guys, when this happened, I should have exited. I thought this was displacement, but this was clearly absorption. Look at these guys. All of these buy orders. So sometimes if it's not really obvious aggression, it's probably absorption. See this guy, this guy, this guy, all market buying at a bad time, and then they become liquidity down here. So that was a little hint to probably get out of that trade. What time was this at? 9:35. Okay. So it's going to be within this. There is one whale that, but we want to see market buying here for it to be absorption, so it's not actually absorption. Yeah, there wasn't really much absorption here at all, there wasn't any whales or anything. Interesting. Well, anyway, I still want to record this as hand of FA. This one's hand of FA too. Once again, I'd probably just use this for bias, not actually trading this, but you get what I'm saying. It can be helpful to identify when you get a pin bar off of something like this, that the market's going to deliver aggressively the opposing way, right? Mostly, once again, just useful for bias, but still. Yeah, and interestingly, we got another one here, right? Once again, I would just use these for bias. Like, if you ever see pin bars off of uh, these key levels, just use it for bias. Okay, now I want to go to lower time frame. Dang, the 3 minute might have been one. The 3 minute was one. I'm almost wondering if we should include outside bars in hand of FA and seal of FA. Or maybe if an outside bar is off of a. Maybe. Oh, I have an idea. If it's an outside bar off of a. Okay. I have an idea. If it's an outside bar off an NDARG, NWAG, EHPDA. What's the other one? Reaper or first presented for value gap. It can also be included in hand of FA, just like pin bars. Seal of FA is for PSPs off those levels only. I like that. Hi, bro. Good morning, dude. What's up? For me, it's like really late at night, but how are you, bro? This is a chill backtesting session. I'm just listening to music and backtesting. So, yeah. But I'm really loving the way the market creates pin bars and outside bars off of these levels, like Event Horizons, New Day opening gaps, and all the other stuff. $9.39 seal of FA, EH, PDA, aligned with the 3-minute. Might have been an even lower time frame one. You know what? This was actually multiple things in one because we actually had a Reaper gap here as well. Let me actually put my note in my other section. Hang on. I'm just making some notes. I'm just trying to make the definitions correct. Okay, I'm liking these definitions so far. Yeah, I'm really liking these definitions so far. Okay, it's good enough for now. It's not perfect, but I'll keep working on it. I bet you this one was a PSP. If not, it was definitely a pin bar. Yeah, it was a PSP. Now that has good signature to it. That's that's incredible. We might have had an even lower time frame one. The cool thing is we also use this Reaper gap here. It's such a good pin bar though. And then you could have just trailed and trailed and trailed and wow, we just kept going. I mean, I think the draw on liquidity was London lows. Where's London lows? Oh, we'd already taken London, so I guess Asia lows. Pretty simple. That's 9R. And look at the signature on that pin bar. I mean, that is just beautiful. Above majority of the true opens. Not above 730, but 730 got manipulated, so. That's fire. And we might have had SMT too. Let's check. Yeah, there's SMT with ES. This is a 22-minute SMT. And a 90-minute SMT. Partial 90-minute SMT. Honestly, I'm kind of sick of partial SMTs. I might just refer to them as just full SMTs. But for now, I'm still going to use partial SMTs because I don't really know. I'm still learning. $9.41. Seal of FA. Kind of have to use the bathroom. I'll be right back. Do you guys see the signature on that pin bar? Yo, what up, Vinny? How's it going? What up, Mulger Bunny? 1078. Yo, brother. What up, brother? Good to see you, bro. Guys, I have to use the bathroom. I'll be right back. Once again, this is more of a chill back testing session, but yeah. I'll be right back. plug my AirPod in. Alright. Hey! Oi, new setup place. I see. Kinda, bro. This is just one of those chill streams where I just don't feel like setting everything up at my computer. So I am just chilling out. But yeah, it's a chill stream, so I'm not really like super talkative right now. But if you talk to me, I'll probably be more talkative. But right now, I'm just reviewing and looking at some cool trades you could have taken. This pin bar, look at how nice, how really nice of signature there is on this pin bar, and look at how it's perfectly delivering from the event horizon. Boom. And it's also a pin bar that diverges in color between correlated assets. And then straight down to Asia lows. Bang. Above all the true opens. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So I call this seal of FA, where it's a pin bar, precision pin bar off either a new day opening gap or event horizon or whatever. But yeah, just more of a chill stream. I just don't feel like setting everything up right now. So, sup, Jake? Look at Jake talking about pin bars. That's great. Hey, bro, pin bars are goated. I just, for the longest time, I was confused. No one explained to me that you could enter on the close. I think that was the biggest issue for me. And then once I finally figured out you can enter on the close, kind of opened up a whole new world. And then I realized pair it with new day opening gaps and event horizons and Reaper gaps, and you're just cooking. So yeah, once again, we're just chilling right now. But look at this beautiful pin bar. Beautiful. Oh no, I accidentally clicked monthly. No, I don't want to look at the monthly. So I also want to show you guys how this was a 5-minute 30-second flow state, and I marked this out live. We had a 5-minute breaker. Why is this 5-minute breaker good? Because this 5-minute breaker came before this sweep of the data high. So here's the data high, 830 unemployment claims. We get a sweep of it, right? So breaker is a high, low, higher high, lower low. So this down close candle is a breaker, right? Actually, you could even mark it out as this one. That really doesn't matter. That one might be better. Then drop down to a 30-second chart, right? The cool thing about breakers is, once again, you really need to pair a breaker with the liquidity sweep occurring with a specific drawn liquidity. So for instance, this is a breaker before we swept the data high. So this is the data high. Let's go ahead and mark that. And I'll clean up the chart, but I'm going to show you guys what I mean. Yes, sir. So let's get rid of this, and this, right? And anyway, data high unemployment claims get swept. You know what? I like this breaker better. So I would mark out this as the 5-minute breaker. I know it's not the lowest one, but it's more of a obvious breaker to me. So I'm going to use this one. But they're basically at the same point, so it doesn't matter. So breaker on the 5-minute. And then this is overlapped with a fair value gap. You can mark the fair value gap out like this, or you can use my version of fair value gaps like that. That's how I would mark it out, where basically I'm merging these candles together and implying that this is the fair value gap. So then drop down to a 30-second, right? So 5-minute breaker, 30-second for 30-minute 5-minute breaker, 5-minute fair value gap. And then what? Once again, with the sweep of the data high prior to it. And the EHPDA right there. So, what do you see? Accumulation, right? This whole thing is accumulation. Manipulation of the data high. I guess let's look at the true opens here real quick. Actually, yeah, we were above. See, we were above every true open here. Midnight, 9:22, the 22-minute true open, and yeah, it's not 7:30, but 7:30 was already manipulated. So accumulation, manipulation. And I kind of marked this out live a little bit. Actually, we don't need to mark that out. We can just mark out this as manipulation. So the breaker. Why is this a strong breaker? Because it comes before a purge of a very specific draw on liquidity, the data high. So we know this breaker is going to be strong. We also know that the fair value gap and premium of this is going to be strong. And, well, this is actually... Wait, dang, this is actually a suspension block. What an interesting Reaper gap. I would use the whole suspension block as the Reaper gap. So, we have many, many confluences here. We have this suspension block, which I'm using as the Reaper. Once again, just looking for an imbalance in premium of the breaker, right? Here's the breaker, high, low, higher high, which takes out a very specific draw on liquidity, the news high. So high, low, higher high, which takes out the news high. Then displacement lower. Okay, that validates this as a breaker. In premium, look for imbalance in premium of a breaker, right? So, whoops. In premium of this breaker, you can see there is a suspension block. So I like that as essentially using that as the imbalance, right? So I would use this as the Reaper gap. Look at how many confluences there is here. Pretty interesting. And then And then, yeah, at this point, right, it's a 5 minute breaker. We got both of these confluences lined up. Once we get this 30-second change in state right there, on or even right there, but I feel like that one's more risky. I like this. Um, I feel like at this point, when this candle closes, it's pretty clear that we've now gotten 30-second change in state. Now maybe you could mark it out as the, maybe we actually, let's actually go to the 15-second. It's going to be more clear. Oh yeah, way more clear on the 15-second. So once again, with a 5 minute key level, I can align the 5 minute with a either a 30-second or a 15-second, right? I feel like there's too much on the chart, but I think everything's important. Anyway, 5 minute gap, 5 minute breaker aligned with a 30-second change in state, delivering from the Reaper and event horizon. Once again, you don't have to take this. You could just use this for bias just to understand how price is moving, right? And then take maybe instead of this, take the first one for value gap getting inversed. But it's nice to be able to frame stuff like this so you can see like um, so you can read the market correctly and then get a really good bias. So even if you're not gonna necessarily take this trade, which I wouldn't either, I'm not saying that we would. I'm saying that it's nice to be able to do this so we can read the market correctly. And then we run all the way down to Asia low. Honestly, I feel like we don't need that. Okay. Beautiful. So sick. So flow state 9:41:15. Oh, I meant 15-second change in state. All right. 941.15. But once again, you mostly just use that for bias. Flow state, 5-minute breaker aligned with a 15-second change in state. Once again, you mostly just use that for bias because the real trade would have been probably after we started displacing lower. Then you can get in on the first percent for value up getting inversed on this price leg down to go run Asia low. So right here, this inversion for value gap. This is the first percent for value gap. Bang, we inverse it. So simple. I mean, shockingly simple. Ridiculously simple. Yeah, so then we inverse this first percent for value gap on the way down towards the draw on liquidity. Perfect entry. Where I should have entered. And honestly, entering on a retest, I like that. I like the retest entry a lot. Look at how beautiful that is. I mean, dang, bro. That is so clean. Precision trading right here. Accumulation, manipulation, Judas swing, right? Judas swing. Let's actually mark this out. Right? This is just clearly the Judas swing, right? Into the breaker. I'm not going to mark that out. And then inversion. This is the power of being able to read the market. Oh, my AirPod died. Yeah, it's probably trade of the day. $9.43. You could also take it at 9.42. Entry on the close. Actually, no, it would still be 9.43. What a sick trade, dude. I'm almost wondering, like, when we backtest this, I low-key think that was when that whale bought into it. Oh no, it's the opposite. He should have market. There should have been a market buyer into it. Dang it. Man, I don't have time to get anything done. It's so stupid. Like, I wanted to make a market recap. I wanted to film videos, or I wanted to film short form videos. It's like I do not have time. Sucks. Just gotta go to bed. Whatever. I'm trying my best. Trying my best. So, anyway. Yeah, it's very bearish. Very, very bearish market. And yeah, the annoying thing about this is if you didn't get in on that short, like that short was like the best short. And so if you didn't get in on that first cent for lag up inversion, it's like, well, sorry, you missed your opportunity. Where I'm not gonna give you much else. It's like, dang. Another beautiful thing about this is looks like there's a new week opening gap here, which overlaps really nicely. But like, why was it so bearish? Like, it was like I was expecting maybe we reverse or something. We got nothing. We got like no relief, none. I was surprised. I was like, dang, like really? I think the reason it was so bearish though is because it was just a higher time frame move lower, which is just, you know, it's tough. And it's like also really weird because it's like RTH gap formed to the upside. It's a rare exception where we don't go fill the RTH gap. Usually we do. Usually we will go fill the RTH gap. So the fact we didn't is like pretty telling how bearish the market really is here, and maybe we go down a lot, but we'll see. Once again, it's like massive daily precision swing point here. And so I would not be surprised. So this is the daily PSP. You can see how nice of a pin bar this is. I would not be surprised if it just delivers us down like all the way down to these low resistance lows. I mean, it's just a beautiful pin bar. And I mean, it might even be delivering from... There's a new week opening up there. It might be a weekly pin bar. Hold up. This is something I've not realized before. Check out that weekly candle. Let's compare it. I'm getting a little distracted because I'm supposed to be backtesting the actual day, but It's interesting. Well. Okay, maybe it's not, but it's definitely a pin bar, right? So this is hand of FA on the weekly. And it came with SMT. Four projections takes us to those low resistance lows. I think we'll draw here. I could see it coming. I could see it. It's actually a weekly volume imbalance, but I don't really care. So we'll post trade of the day here. So, is there anything else to look at for today? Um, hmm. Well, I think today was a hard day. I think it was a very, very difficult trading day. A lot to learn, but not an easy day, honestly. Anything else that's worthwhile to know? Maybe let's check SB Pro. Oh yeah, so I wanna look at that trade. So remember when I was in my trade and then all these whales market bought? So honestly, that should have been Confluence. With not to mention the trade was not that great. I should have probably with the whales market buying, honestly, just said, okay, it's either gonna go higher here or not. So I'm just gonna trail my stop because I know that if this isn't displacement, it's gonna be absorption, and I'm cooked if it's absorption. So I think if after this guy and this guy and this guy bought market bought, I would put the trailing stop in. Uh, and then honestly, if I hadn't been in that trade, I think this would have been an amazing confluence for shorts. Absorption 155 whale market buying, 200 whale market buying, 142 whale market buying. I'm so curious if that occurred into somewhere important. Like, let's go ahead and look. I think this was at what time? Uh, let's see. So it should be 12:05. Yeah. So during the lunch macro too. It's definitely super choppy. No SMT with the ES. It was with YM. Sneaky. Yeah, this is interesting. Right? So we have a 5-minute rejection block. We push up into it. We're still within the macro. We get the SMT with YM. Not to mention, it's also looks like even a lower time frame rejection block. It's a 1-minute rejection block, and it's probably a 15-second rejection block as well. Oh, this is getting real good. Okay, I like the 30-second one. Right, so very obvious rejection block on the 30-second. Boom. Remember, we got those market sellers uh, into this rejection block. We had SMT. So first of all, this is Phoenix on the 30-second. I wouldn't take this, but what I would consider taking is 5-minute Phoenix aligned with a 30-second change in state of delivery. And we're definitely above true opens. Let's see. Alright, I don't even want to look at true opens right now. But the main confluence was that the whales market bought into this rejection block. Once again, I would not take this because it's just too risky. But what I would say is I would take a 30-second change in state off the 5-minute rejection block. Once again, the whales market bought like 155, 200, 142. Like, what were these guys doing? All the whales market buying into the rejection block. $155, 200, 142. I mean, when I see that buildup of absorption into a rejection block with SMT, I'm like, that doesn't look too good for longs. You see how finding the whales is helpful. So what time was this at? 12:05 Phoenix on the 32nd. On the 32nd. But the trade that I want to look at, the realistic trade, is the 5-minute rejection block. Right? That's actually a realistic rejection block. And then aligning this rejection block with a 30-second change in state of delivery. Or an inversion for value gap. Or a 15-second one. Yeah, it looks like we're going to need to go to the 15-second. Which is fine. There you go. There's 15-second change in state of delivery. This is beautiful. Right? Let's clean this up a little bit, but dang. I would take this every time. If I could somehow have all the information, I would take this every time. Look at how generated these lows are, all through here. If I had all the information, I would take this every single time. This is the most textbook thing. Whale market buys right here. Will market buy, I mean market sells. Will market sells. We have SMT with YM. And then what? 15-second change in state off of our rejection block. We even void when we create it, which is just so beautiful. And bang, super generated lows, super obvious AMD. And once again, with these change in state deliveries, a lot of time you want to enter on the wick to get filled, right? So like this, but enter on the wick. I'd put stop loss above that, and then I'd project this out from here to, let's see, now you might want to enter on the close. So if you entered on the close, it'd probably be most realistic, right? With the stop loss above there, take this down for projections. Yeah, this is how you take this. This right here is precision trading. Precision. It's hard to go too wrong if you really understand the market and you really can really figure everything out in enough time, you can take a really precise trade. But that's not easy. Easier said than done. And once we first tap this LRLR, that's where I go break even. And then this is rocket fuel, as we know. My laptop's gonna die. Okay. I'm gonna end the stream right after this. But yeah, 4 projections. That is a cool trade right there. That is a very, very cool trade. And yeah, with that, I'm gonna screenshot it. And then save it. Wait, they were market buying. Bro, I almost had the market selling. Whoops. Bro. Almost screwed this image up. Okay, so flow state. (12:06:45). Flow state. 5-minute key level. 15-second change in state. Alright. I'm going to put this one in the Discord. Alright, guys. With that, I'm gonna end the stream. Thank you guys so much for watching. If anyone have even watched it, made it this far, awesome. I will see you guys tomorrow.